everyone, Clio here. It is Friday night, time for another reading vlog. It is actually Friday night for me as well. I was supposed to start this one on Tuesday. I was gonna try and change my reading vlog schedule, for me to start on Tuesday to end on Monday, so I have more time to edit them than I previously did. And maybe I will still do that. Maybe I will switch it over to weekend vlogs. In any case, this one is going to be a weekend vlog because I only started it today. And this is also, for me, not a very great day creator-wise, because it is the first time that I'm gonna miss a Friday night reading vlog update, so I'm still hoping to edit it during the weekend. However, I've tried to edit it already 3 times and the computer just like there's something wrong with the connection between my external hard drive and my computer. I'm still hoping to be able to get the vlog out there maybe on Sunday, but it is and it's just a very long one because it's close to 2 weeks of reading vlog material. So I'm gonna have to be have to be strict on the editing, and it's almost 2 hours of raw footage, which, if you're somebody who hates editing, is a nightmare. But so yeah, that's my own problem, of course, because why do I film for why do I have 2 hours of footage? But so yeah, this is going to be a weekend reading vlog. It is the final weekend of the month of January, and so I do want to finish my TBR. At this point in time, I have 1 book left on my TBR, and that will be The Inland Sea by Madeleine. In principle, it should be doable because I'm on page 74 of a 252-page book, so I have under 200 pages to go. However, it's also a slower one, but I will say it's a slower one, and I feel like I haven't moved quite a lot into this book throughout the week, but I also only actually read in it 2 nights this week, so so that might also be giving me false ideas about how much of a struggle it's going to be to get through this. So The Inland Sea is a general fiction piece of literature. It is set in Australia, and it is about this young girl whose great-great-great-great-grandfather was an explorer who was trying to look for this mythical inland sea. You know, apparently the idea behind it is that when the British came to Australia, they thought okay, this is totally unsustainable. If this country is as dry as it seems to be, then we can only stay on the outskirts, we cannot move in towards the center. And so because they saw a lot of rivers moving inland, there were some explorers who went inland to try and find the source of that river, because they had the idea that there was this massive river running through the center of Australia that was feeding into all of these rivers. But so yeah, that is the backstory of her great-great-great-grandfather. However, we're looking at our protagonist present day, and she's somebody who is working at a emergency dispatch coordinator who, when people call emergency services, she tries to connect them to the relevant services for suiting their emergency. Apart from that, she seems to be one of those characters that doesn't really have her life in order. However, I feel like I got that impression a lot more from the back of the book than I'm getting from what is taking place. But I'm actually not far enough into the story to be able to tell you what the real story is. What I do get already from this story is that it's very much going to be centering around climate change, but it's also very much focusing on that atmosphere of fear, of anxiety about things taking place within the world. This story is told in 4 parts, and the 4 parts definitely also hone in on that climate change aspect, because the first part that I just finished is called Heat, and then you have Flood. You also have Wildfire, I think, or something like that. So it's very much looking at the harsh impact on the environment that we've seen in recent years, or that we've only started to notice in recent years. So yeah, I am interested to see where this one is going. So far, it's intriguing, but it's not really gripping me yet. I don't really have any connection to the story or to the character yet. I do like that hint of climate change, but it's also still very much on the fringes. Or it's not part of a overarching plot or something like that, so it also doesn't really feel like that's enough to really get me invested in the story so far. So we'll have to see, because I don't really know what the plot line is going to be, or whether this is going to be one of those books that doesn't have a plot line. For me personally, I'm hoping that we're gonna get some sort of like either dual timeline in which we're looking at her great-great-great-grandfather who went in search of that inland sea, or that will have her try to recreate that sort of journey that he went on. But so yeah, that is going to be my reading project for this weekend. Ideally, I will also already start Don Quixote de la Mancha Part 2. I finished Part 1 yesterday, and so I do have some leeway for Part 2 in the month of February. You know, if I don't restart it this weekend, I can make some extra changes to the plan for February, because in February I actually kept all of my weekends Don Quixote free to be able to focus on the big fat fantasy novels that I have on there. But so yeah, that's going to be my reading for this weekend. That is going to round off my TBR for the month of January. It was a little bit of a tighter fit than I expected in January, because, you know, I thought like, okay, easy. In 2020 I read like over 10 books most months, so it'll be easy if I reduce it to 5 books. I'll easily get there. It was a little bit more of a struggle than I had anticipated, but yeah, it still looks like I'm gonna make it, but maybe that's a little bit cocky to say before this reading vlog, so we'll see by the end of this. Now it is Friday. I consider to be cheat day, so I am going to be ordering something to eat, and probably I'm going to be ordering the same thing as last week. So if you've seen my reading vlog and you're like, isn't that the exact same thing? It is the exact same thing, because I really liked what I ordered last week. So last week I had sweet potato fries with a sort of like wrap, but so it was kind of a kebab wrap, but the kebab meat wasn't real meat because I'm a vegetarian, but it really was good substitution for the kebab meat that is traditional. So I'm going to be getting that because it was really delicious and I've been craving it all week. So yeah, going for that. And then I will read a little bit, because I do definitely feel like I want to get, and then I will read a little bit because I really need to get some reading done. On the other hand, I also want to kind of try and introduce at some point the idea of Friday night being just there for like watching movies, watching TV shows, but at this point Friday nights always seems to be like, yeah, but I need to get some of a head start in reading, because otherwise I won't be able to meet my reading goals. That has been happening all day. So, before I was rudely interrupted, yeah, I want to kind of make my Friday evenings like really just for watching movies or TV shows, because I feel like I don't watch them at all. But we'll have to see how that goes, because February is I still got a lot of massive books on there. March will be the same, I think. April will be the same. I think I probably will be the same the entire year. So I guess maybe I should just do it. Maybe if I just do it, then my other reading plans will automatically adapt themselves to it, but maybe not yet tonight.
I never think, I never know, I'm stuck and left alone. I've been lost, I've been fine. My cause is not defined. Won't you kiss me? Won't you play? Won't you draw me? Ain't no way I could deny you, I could stray. Won't you kiss me? Ain't no way. Want you, come and draw me now, so cool. Come and
is just me trying to get into focus, but the problem is that my eyesight isn't the best. Like, where is the in focus? This is in focus, so... No, worse. That's why I hate manual focus. I think... Is this okay? No, this is bad. But you know what? Let me just get uncomfortably close to you guys so that I can actually see myself and know that I'm in focus. But so, yeah. Saturday evening I've read a lot more into the Inland Sea than I was actually supposed to, which is great. I think I am about 40 pages away from finishing it at this point in time. I am enjoying it a lot more. I will still say that it's a book that I cannot really easily recommend to people because it just, first of all, why are you messing up my lighting over there? Cats. Because first of all, it deals with like, you know, it doesn't have a plot line to it. It still doesn't have a plot line. So it's just basically character work, and it does dive into things like climate change. However, climate change is never at the focus. We're mainly looking at this character who at the beginning I didn't really think that she was as, you know, like, that she was kind of struggling to get her life in order. I didn't necessarily think that the way that her life is being presented really fits that sort of premise, but yeah, it's starting to feel a lot more like that. She definitely is somebody who, you know, she she is having an affair with somebody who basically dumped her at some point, said that he was more interested in dating somebody else, and so he ended up marrying that person, but so now he's still seeing her because he still wants her, at least sexually, and she's okay with that. She never really says anything about that, and then she's having relationships with all these men all the time, and she's not having safe sex and all of those things. And you know, she has these fears that every woman has of, you know, like walking alone in streets at night, because a lot of times she will be referring back to stories about, you know, abductions or about rape that have really left an impact on her. So there are definitely a lot of elements to the story that I'm liking, and I am going through it a lot quicker now. So it's definitely one where I had difficulty getting into it, but now that I'm into it, I am definitely enjoying myself, and it is definitely going by quickly, and I am I am getting stuff out of it. However, it's not one that is easy for me to recommend because, you know, there's no plot, there's no real sort of like, so far at least it's not a story about her finding herself or finding her goal or anything like that. So it's just really a slice of life book, and so I can only recommend it to people who are like slice of life, I think. So it is Sunday morning and I just finished The Inland Sea by Madeleine, and it's a difficult one, guys, because I did really like the way that the ending came together. So I think my overall conclusion is just going to be I want to keep an eye on this author because I think she does write very well, and she can put so much atmosphere, tension, dread into her work, but plot-wise it didn't really work all the time, and especially in thinking about, you know, the way in which the plot came together at the end, what we kind of lost was that whole sort of connection to her great-great-great-great-grandfather, which made me think, you know, why was it there to begin with? I think it was included at times, but it never really integrated in a way that I thought was worthwhile, and it just gave a certain direction to the story, or you could see certain links that were established there, but it didn't really fully but it didn't really fully deliver on that sort of connection between those two narratives. So I think that that is one of its weak points. I did like its discussion of the fact that the whole conclusion of that storyline of her great-great-great-grandfather is basically that he was just there at the wrong time in history. He was looking for an inland sea in Australia millions of years, billions of years after there had actually been one, and he was looking for it who knows how much time before the sea will be there due to climate change. So I thought that that was a powerful passage, but that being the only reason it was there is not enough of a reason to make that connection between the two. But overall, central to this book is very much the idea of violence, of tension, of dread, of emergency. That is what we should be concerning ourselves with when it comes to climate change. And she has her protagonist really embodying that sentiment. You know, it starts out with just a small detail of her working at emergency services and being confronted with emergencies all the time, and the toll that is taking on her mentally. But throughout the book we're seeing more and more of these cases. We're seeing her find out some of these emergency calls that went wrong afterwards. We're seeing her spiraling in her personal life. We're seeing her testing boundaries. We see her taking morning after pill after morning after pill. We get flashbacks to her childhood, to the abusive relationship that her parents had. And so this sense of dread, this sense of violence that permeates the books builds and builds until we get to that final scene. And then in that final scene we get a parallel between what is and in that final scene we get this sort of like immense sense of dread that I really felt viscerally, and then that sense of dread that has been building throughout the book is very much activated towards giving us a bleak view of a potential future of our climate, in a sense then, you know, like jolting us awake kind of. So I think the ending of this book definitely came true. It definitely delivered. I think it could have ended earlier actually. I think it could have ended on that sort of apocalyptic vision. We do get a couple of chapters after that, and I think it would have just been a better punch for it to stop there rather than give us a little bit more about what happened to our character after that. I don't think we needed that. The ending is ambiguous, so you can kind of read into it what you want, and I will say that there are potential trigger warnings with that, so I will put it in the description down below. So it is not actively puts that that is what happens, but it is a potential. It's possibly what is happening there. But so yeah, all in all, I will say that I'm very happy actually that I read it. You know, it's not one that I'll actively be pushing on people, but I definitely do think that it has a lot of potential, and I definitely want to be checking out more by Madeleine Watts. And it's definitely an interesting one in light of climate change. You know, it doesn't seem to have a good structure to it at first. It just seems to be using climate change as a sort of atmospheric point, and in part that is definitely true. That is definitely part of what is happening. However, I definitely do think that it also manages to pack that punch in there at the ending. So yeah, overall I really enjoyed this one. But so that means that I have now finished my January TBR. It is the 31st of January, so I had to finish it today, but I am finished now. It is like not even 11 o'clock I think yet at this point in time, but I do also have plans today. So I think I'll probably call my mother now, because usually she calls me on Sunday, and I do have plans in the afternoon, so I better call her now, or otherwise she'll just try to call me when I'm out. But so I'm going to be going on a hike with some friends. It's extremely cold today, but it isn't raining today versus yesterday, so that's why we're going now. But I hope that it isn't too cold neither. I'm kind of debating whether I should wear leggings underneath my walking trousers or not, because it is like 0 degrees, so I'm a bit hesitant about the weather. It's also quite windy, I see, so yeah, we'll have to see. Hey guys, it is Monday evening. I am just quickly rounding off this vlog. I think it's probably quite a short one, and I'll probably return to weekly vlogging because I don't know, there's just like I need to do too many updates in a weekend to be able to do weekly weekend vlogs. So I think I'm gonna return to weekly vlogs, but it's gonna be Monday until Sunday, and then it comes out on Friday. So if I get my act together, I can actually have that video processed well ahead of time in order to not have to stress about it on Thursday evening. So we'll have to see how that ends up happening, because I still haven't edited or published last week's vlog. So either I'm just gonna scrap it, or I'm adding this to that one. You guys know more than I do at this point in time. But so yeah, I hope you still enjoyed this vlog. Let me know if... But yeah, I hope you guys still enjoyed this vlog. I was able to get my January TBR done, so happy about that. So great progress for me in that sense. And so today I am starting my February TBR. In principle, I started it this weekend already, because I did read a little bit in Don Quixote part 2 as well. But so going to start my first other reads today, so you can hear all about that in next week's vlog.